Hey guys, it's Caleb again. I'm gonna be doing this video on common misconceptions on conservatives, Republicans, Christians, and the lot. A couple of misconceptions. I'm gonna be talking about Second Amendment rights, gun control, stuff like that, and gay marriage, and just like reasons behind it, and just stuff like that to kind of blow off the stereotype that we're just a bunch of gun-toting, Bible-thumping, crazy people. Let's start off with gay marriage. There are a lot of reasons why one might disagree with gay marriage. You could disagree with it on a moral level, and you could disagree with it on a political level. Not a political level, a constitutional level. Let's start off with the moral level, because that addresses my group that I'm associated with, conservative Christians. To think the way that I'm thinking, you have to take traditional Christian doctrine and just understand that traditional Christian doctrine in the sense that the Bible, as it is written, is a literal document, not a metaphor, not an analogy, and that it is still relevant today. Not all the laws apply, but it is still relevant for today. So you have to believe that, or else anything that I'm saying just won't make sense. And a majority of denominations do espouse to that doctrine. I mean, there are people that say the Bible is a metaphor and it wasn't necessarily meant to be trusted as a whole. It was just meant to like portray ideas and stuff like that. And that is a minority. And believe me or not, I don't really care. That's a minority of people. It just wouldn't make sense. You would have to start doubting a lot of things about the Bible that if I were to actually go into detail about what calling the Bible a metaphor or analogy entails, it's false logic. It really turns on itself eventually. But if you do agree with this way, it's not that we hate gay people. A lot of people in the media and a lot of people that are not conservative just point out and say, well, why are you guys hating so much? Why can't two people who are in love get married? On a religious standpoint, I would go back to the Bible, obviously. And Leviticus, I'm using the NCV, the New Century Version. It's very similar to the NIV. It's just got a little bit more modern language. Leviticus chapter 20, verse 13. If a man has sexual relations with another man, as he would a woman, and these two men have done a hateful sin, and it goes on for a punishment. Obviously, we don't go into punishing, because, I mean, we, as traditional Christians, believe that Jesus came down, forgave everybody of their sins, and all they have to do is pray and ask for forgiveness, and they're forgiven. We don't have to punish anybody anymore, like the barbaric ways of the Old Testament, and stuff like that. And I just really want to emphasize, no hate. Real Christians, honestly, if you're truly a Christian, no hate is involved in your religion. If somebody disagrees with what you say, even a gay person, we let them live their life. They don't have to conform to our standards of living. If they're a Christian and they're gay, obviously that's a little bit of hypocrisy, and we'll try to correct them on it, but there should be no hate involved if you're really a Christian and believe in traditional Christian doctrine. But let's go on to a constitutional level, because honestly, gay marriage just doesn't make sense on a constitutional level, but not because it's gay marriage, because marriage doesn't make sense on a constitutional level. The government is involved with marriages because they give out marriage licenses, and to be recognized as being married, to get the benefits for the government, which I think is ridiculous, you have to get a marriage license. None of that makes any sense to me, because why? Nowhere in the Constitution does it say that you have to have a license to be married. Marriage isn't even mentioned, for goodness sake. There is legislation that some conservatives are trying to put forth to say that marriage is between one man and one woman, and I'm probably going to end up voting for that because I disagree with gay marriage, but I don't think this should even be voted on, because I think the government should not be involved. I don't think the Supreme Court or whatever, Congress, should be making a decision that marriage is between one man and woman, because I think that should be up to the church. I don't think the government should be involved at all. I'm a very minimalist government kind of guy, as most conservatives are, and I just think that that's crazy that they're involved. I mean, really, married people getting benefits? honestly, they shouldn't even have to be worried about tax breaks, because I think that personally that we're overtaxed in the first place. But I think that that's wrong because it promotes a certain way of life. Now, granted, I don't believe in being gay or gay marriage as an appropriate style of life, but I don't think the government should espouse one way either. By giving married people certain benefits, it espouses a certain way, and it also involves the government in ways that they don't need to be involved. Moving on to gun rights. I am pro Second Amendment. First of all, because it's in the Constitution, and it says that we have the right. It doesn't specify we can only have handguns, or we can only have certain kinds of rifles. It says that we have the right to bear arms. Interpret that how you will. Personally, I think it needs to be specified a little bit, but interpret that how you will. We have the right to bear guns. Plain and simple. There is logic into what the other side says, in the sense that we could reduce crime. We could reduce murder and violent crime by getting rid of guns. And there is a little bit of logic in there, but there's a lot of logical fallacies in there. Because when you think about it, when somebody murders somebody else, when somebody attacks somebody else, they're breaking the law in the sense that they're already attacking or committing murder. Why would they heed a law that says you're not allowed to carry a gun if they're going to commit an even more serious crime that is a federal offense, murder, or assault? It just doesn't make sense that criminals would obey the law. I mean, it would honestly just be taking the guns out of the civilians who would be using it to protect themselves, taking it out of their hands. But the criminals, I mean, well, they're already breaking the law. Why would they follow a small nuance of the law? It just doesn't make sense. But that's my 2 cents. If you guys have any ideas for other topics you want me to talk about, or have questions for me, send me a PM or comment on the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you like this. Even if you don't like my opinion, like and subscribe. I mean, I'm open to everything. Try to keep the hate out of the comments, you know. But that's just my 2 cents, and I'll see you guys in the next video.